Well, I decided to pick up this case by Megapi. Looks like the Sega Genesis. And I'm going to put my Raspberry Pi in it. So, picked it up for about, I think it's about 25 bucks. Got it off of Amazon if you're interested. Anyhow, figure we'll hurry and just do a quick little unboxing of it. And then I'll show my finished product when we're done, but it's a nice little box if you're into boxes. Comes with a little instruction kit on it. Set that over there. And this little foam. It's packaged nicely. That looks pretty awesome. That is really cool looking. So, got a couple USB ports here. This little on and off switch. I think you can set this to power your Raspberry Pi on and off. I've got to double check. So I'm not sure exactly. Oh, check that out. That's awesome. Your volume button on the Genesis, instead of a volume, it's just a little eject. That is funny. I don't know exactly what you would put in there. Maybe an extra SD card or your stash or whatever. I don't know. But that's cool. On the back, looks like that'll be where your HDMI comes out. I can already see there's a little USB charging thing in there, so I bet you inside there's a, well, let's see. Oh, there we can just take it apart. Well, there you go. So you've already got a couple little boards in here. I'm assuming those will, if I read, researched correctly, it should make these buttons functional as far as turning on and off the Pi. So that's really cool. Comes with a little screwdriver and your little screws here. So I'm going to go ahead and go get my other case and pull the Pi out of it and put it in here, and then we'll be back. Oh, safe shutdown switch. Power on and off switch. Interesting. So I'm going to have to learn a little bit about this stuff. All right, we'll be right back. All right, so I'll just show a little bit here. What I've got going on is, here's these USB connections. This little piece here is going to go on this end. The Pi is going to sit in like this, upside down. And that's what's going to be interesting, is it's going to be a little bit of a tight fit, I can tell, but it'll work. Pop that in there. Yep, that's what you do, and then you just put it down. So we'll go ahead and put these screws in, and then I'll plug these USB things in. I should probably do that now, and then we'll be back. All right, so I have it in. When you put this in, you only use the 2 screws to hold the board down, your Pi down, because it slips kind of in here. The audio and your HDMI snaps into here a little bit. So that kind of holds it in. So I've got these 2 USB connectors here. Sorry, get into camera here. Got the 2 USB deals plugged in here. I've got the little thing plugged into the Pi there, and that this little board under here will handle the Pi's power. And then also you'll notice that your Cat5 wired port and your other two USB ports, you have access to those from the, if you need them, from the bottom of the case. So it looks like you can pull that off and you can kind of see down in here. I don't know if with the lighting how well that shows. Anyhow, you can kind of see down in there. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and put the top on now. And what I understand is these two buttons, the safe shutdown and this power on and off, they're default turned off. If you want to use those, it looks like in the instructions I need to go to GitHub and download the script, the safe shutdown script, in order to use this correctly. So I am going to go ahead and do that. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and flip them on. And so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put that back on. And then at least we'll either boot it up and make sure it all works, or I may go ahead and run the safe scripts and then come back. All right, first of all, I have to tell you this case is awesome. I put it together and then I was like, oh crap, I forgot to put my SD card in it. And I'm looking, I'm like, crap, I gotta take it apart. So I take it back apart. I put the card in and I'm like trying to put the bottom back on or the top back on, and I'm like, why isn't it going on? And then I realized this little deal, you have to take the card out first to kind of to put it on, and there you have access for your little SD card. It was just so tightly, made, I just didn't even realize that's what that was. So that is an awesome case. There it is. Volume down. We'll eject that. You can store whatever in there. You got two USB ports to plug in your USB controllers if you want to use them. Power on and off switch. And a reset switch. I'm thinking the power on and off, I've got to run that script, and that will be a safe shutdown is what that will be. I'm assuming this, if I just click it, it just does a hard reset. And then on the back here, we've got our HDMI out, our audio, and our power. And then underneath, if we do need access to those other USB ports, there they are right there. And your LAN port, if you want to connect, wired instead of wirelessly, I guess you can do that. So, and then of course you can change your SD card right there. But that is one slick looking little case. I like it. I'm going to run that script because I think that's cool. The case I was using was this Flirk case. This is a great case too. It's just awesome. The case itself acts like a heating for the little heating deal for your CPU. So, but solid case. I really like that one. You can kind of see the size difference. This is probably similar to the, well, let's see if we come over here. Here's my, you can kind of see the size difference with the SNES Classic there. So it's a little smaller than the NES Classic, just a smidgen. But man, it just looks awesome. I think that's the first, I have this particular Genesis. I think it's the first revision, of the Genesis, and then they did the second one. It's a little different. But that is cool. I just can't get over how awesome that looks. It's kind of a matte plastic. Anyhow, I'm going to plug this sucker in and I'll be back and we'll take a peek. All right, well, it's been a few days since I got this set up here. I've had some things come up, but anyhow, I have this configured now. I went ahead and installed on the SD card the operating system called Blast 16. It's a Sega Genesis specific emulation operating system. So anyhow, this is it. You can kind of hear the catchy tunes in the background. Excuse me, let me get my dog out of the way. He wants to bump that. Let me turn this down. So anyhow, you can see some of the box art isn't set up correctly. The way to the box art needs to be named in the file system. It needs to be named exactly the same as the game itself. Anyhow, I'm not going to go too much into depth there. I just wanted to show you that I do have this up and going now. It's kind of cool. Right now I'm just using this 8BitDo SNES controller. I ordered a Sega Genesis Bluetooth controller from them, so I'm kind of excited for that to get here. I think it's supposed to be here tomorrow, so I'll get that configured. Anyhow, that's pretty much it about this video. I can show you the settings a little bit here. You can go in here and change the language. The logo, you can see the logo at the top, Sega Genesis. If you're in Japan, it would say Mega Drive, Sega Mega Drive in Europe or Brazil. Since I'm here in the US, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I can turn the music on and off for the operating system. We'll leave that on. Come into here, and there's a few other little things you can adjust. Your input, you can change the configuration of your controller and such. So some tools here. We can delete games. So if I want to delete a game, let's go ahead and delete a game. I can click in here, and I can actually select all of the ones I want at once, and then just do a group delete. But let's say we want to, I don't know, let's delete TOEJAM and EARL. Just click C and delete selected and confirm. So it'll go ahead and do that. Kind of reloads them. Anywho, that's how that works. You can set favorites if you wanted. If I wanted to make Castlevania my favorite, I can star it there. I could set, let's say, CUNSTAR Heroes as a favorite. Now I just need to push up on my deal, and that takes me right to the favorites. So it's a pretty simple, nice, little elegant operating system. I'm going to mess around with it more. I'm going to try to get my box art set up correctly. I'm going to also leave a link down in the description of where you can, who you can go and watch, who I followed to set this up. It's ETA Prime. He's got a great channel. Anyhow, I will put a link down in the description, and if you decide that you want to do something like this yourself, I would just suggest you follow his directions, and he'll get you through that. So anyhow, if you have any comments or whatnot, leave them down below, and I appreciate you watching this video, and we'll just smell y'all later. What you doing, Java? Huh? Okay. See ya.